Hey guys, Luke here, your digital concierge at Gramophone. Today we've got an all-new product from Focal we're very excited about. This is the brand new Celestee closed-back headphone. The all-new Celestee combines a modern design with excellent sound performance and a quality of materials that is just stellar. And of course they're going to sound great because it's a Focal. But these headphones are especially elevated by the steps that Focal has taken to raise their build quality that much higher over their predecessor. I can't wait to dive into this one and see what they've done. But before we get into it, guys, make sure you subscribe to the Gramophone YouTube channel because we've got many other great products on the way and I don't want to see you guys miss out. Now then, let's unbox the new Celestee, see what this is all about, and see what great improvements Focal has come up with. These are first and foremost, as you can probably tell, a closed-back circumaural or over-the-ear headphone. They utilize a 40mm dynamic driver, and this is Focal's aluminum magnesium driver, which has always been one of the best performers in the headphone world, as that's a very rigid yet lightweight material, so the dynamics and the extension are exceptional. We mean like turn on a dime response and an extension up to 23 kilohertz. And part of that is also the shape of the driver. So not only aluminum magnesium material, but these are done in what's known as like an M shape. It's basically an inverted dome. Think like a concave lens almost. That's kind of unique to Focal, and they do that because it even further increases clarity. You'll also see that in some of their top-end speaker designs, such as in products like the Sopra or the Canta. That M shape really works, and it perfectly lends itself to a headphone design as well. All this between the M shape and the aluminum magnesium material makes for a headphone driver that is unthinkably precise. And another great fact about these headphones is that they have a very low impedance, meaning they're easy to drive. It's only 35 ohms. You can pretty reliably run these off of, say, a cell phone. Now this is a higher end headphone, and I would certainly recommend a higher end DAC and amp to go with it, of course, but if you have to, or if that's what you've got on hand, it'll work. And of course that plays into the fact that these make a great headphone for someone who's on the go. They're not very heavy, they're not very big, they're easy to drive, they have a carrying case, and being closed back, that's generally what you're going to want when you're out and about anyway, just to block out the outside world. And really the best thing I can say about them is that they have a phenomenal tonal balance, from the bass to the mids to the treble. All of the roll-off and handoff between those points is on point and precise. And you just have this great feeling of linearity. Like everything is there, and it's there in its proper balance. I mentioned a little bit earlier that these do play up to 23 kilohertz, but these play down to a minimum of 5 hertz. That's just bonkers for a headphone. Now granted, it's not a high amount of output at that level, but it is still reproducing it, and to see that out of a headphone at all is really quite something. And going with the fact that they're easy to drive, they have a sensitivity of 105 decibels at 1 milliwatt of power, so you can make these absolutely destroy your eardrums if you truly desire, though I wouldn't recommend it, of course. And lastly, if you need a number to quantify all that talk about how precise and linear and balanced they are, these make only 0.1% total harmonic distortion at a listening level of 100 decibels when measured at 1 kilohertz. That's about as good as it gets, folks. Alright guys, let's talk about the design aspects of the Celestees, and I'm going to enjoy this because I can wax about the looks again, but let's start with the basics and what's going on the inside that we don't see. These weigh just a little bit under a pound, so they're very comfortable to wear. Focal's always been a standout in the area of comfort, no exception here. What elevates these over their predecessor just in terms of acoustic design rather than just what's going on with the drivers and all of that, but everything else in the ear cup. These are actually filled with a semi-aniline leather all throughout, and that really helps keeping a balance in the ear cup itself, minimizing any of that kind of parasitic energy that comes off from the back of the driver, and actually soundproofing the ear cup further and increasing its isolation. As someone who's done some soundproofing work at his own home, who has a studio and knows a little bit about that, that stuff goes a long way. We often tell clients when they're shopping for speakers that the room itself and the proofing in it is actually the most important part of the system. Now Focal has applied some of that logic to the very ear cup of their headphones. That is a huge win. The yokes are made out of an anodized aluminum, finished in this lovely navy finish, and that's how Focal describes it, as navy. To the eyes, I can see it, but I also kind of see that hint of like that copper salt blue that I really like, and therefore the copper accents work just perfectly. The headband itself is that same semi-aniline leather, which also makes it very comfortable and nice to the touch, with a little bit of a microfiber treatment on the bottom so that you have a little more absorption and make it softer against your head. The ear cups themselves, again, that same material, a little open on the inside of the cup, but partly for acoustic purposes. All that very soft, genuine semi-aniline leather that feels great. The materials on these are fantastic, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a headphone that competes in this price category that's made out of anything better all around. The blue, the copper, accents even on the ends of the yoke, and of course the fact they did up the Focal logo in the gorgeous copper finish, shouting out all the important details that these are made in France, feature the aluminum magnesium driver, and then of course my favorite little touch, the copper grill. Something that you really didn't have to do, but did anyway just because it would be awesome, and boy oh boy, yes it is. I love what Focal's done with these. I think this is one of the prettiest, I kid you not, prettiest headphones I've ever seen. They sound great, but even just based on the look, I want to buy a pair. Factoring in that you also get this great case that follows the same aesthetic with that kind of coppery blue look as well, and is the same exact case pretty much other than the color, and same level of quality that you got with the $4,000 Utopia, and you get it here too. Focal's cutting no corners. They're delivering on all fronts. All cylinders are firing in this one. This just feels great, looks great, nails the aesthetic, nails the sound most importantly. Again, this is a closed back, over the ear headphone that runs just in a standard wired configuration. Nothing fancy going on here, but as we know, the best sounding stuff is still just simple hardwired. And what you get out of the box is a 3.5mm cable that has single-ended connectors just to line up with the headphone and connect, of course, on the other side. But the fact that this is a removable cable is great. Should you ever need to replace it for any reason, you can without having to throw away the whole headphone. And of course, who would want to do that? If need be, and if you have a quality amp, you'll probably use it this way. You have a 3.5mm 2/4 inch adapter, and that's that. They're interesting. They have this overall softness to them. As I mentioned, they do have that good presentation throughout the whole range, but lean a little soft, yet strangely enough at the same time feel like they're light on their feet, easily hopping from note to note. It's not that same feeling of you get with the beryllium that you hear in like the Stelia or the Utopia, but it is a similar kind of speed. It's just a little different in character. Rather than something quickly snapping into action, it's like something leaping from lily pad to lily pad, but doing so quickly. The best way I can describe that softness. But I think they sound really good, and I can't get enough of both that and the look. I think the new Celestee from Focal is a very welcome addition, and we'll be happy to have it on our shelves. And all for under $1,000, the Celestee delivers high performance, and let me tell you, drop dead gorgeous. The new Celestee nailed all of its design objectives, and I'm glad that it is the new kid in town. Guys, I highly implore you to go check these out over on skybygramophone.com. You can click the link in the description down below. Rarely do you find such a combination of both sound quality and aesthetic. So head on over and you can check out securely and have them sent fast and free straight to your door. Also, please come visit us or give us a phone call at one of our locations. We're in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, Maryland. And you can also find us at our lovely Kitchen Design Center in Hunt Valley. Whether or not you're looking for project ideas, need to schedule a service request, or want to speak to one of our hi-fi home theater and interior design experts, get inspired at Gramophone.com. Lastly, if you have any questions about anything that's been covered here on the channel, ask at Gramophone.com. I would love to help you out. Keep in mind we're on social media as well. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, House, and Twitter, as well as a few others. Just check the links in the description. Please like this video, put a comment down below, and subscribe to the Gramophone channel for all of your audio and home theater needs. And please give me some feedback. What do you guys think of the Celestee so far, and what do you want to see from us in the future? Thank you guys for watching. It's always a pleasure. Be seeing you.